Chapter 52. Soon, the oppressive anger in the house dissipated, and with it, the golden light surrounding Tang Yu faded away. As the sinister energy vanished, everyone in the Qin family could feel their bodies recovering. Several feng shui masters, previously injured by the backlash of the anger, felt the chaotic qi within them dissipate one by one. Had that toxic qi remained, the consequences would have been severe, serious illness at best, death at worst. Now safe, they turned reverent eyes toward Tang Yu. This was what a true master looked like. He had sat in the corner the entire time, silent, unassuming. Then, when the moment demanded it, he rose and turned the tide. Look at that calm face, that steady figure. He was the embodiment of power cloaked in mystery. Some of them were so moved, they were brought to tears. Who would have thought they'd encounter a real master today? A man who truly embodied the phrase, "A hidden dragon does not reveal its form." One of the older masters wiped his eyes. "I'm ashamed. Compared to Tang Shao, my dragon tiger mountain lineage isn't even worth mentioning. When I return to the mountain, I'll enter seclusion for 20 years to reflect." Another one clasped his hands. "Tang Shao's saving grace today, Songmu will never forget it. If you ever need me, even if it costs my life, I'll repay the debt." The feng shui masters began praising him one after another. "High! Truly high!" While they sang his praises, Tang Yu could only twitch the corner of his mouth. Who am I? Where even am I? This plot makes no damn sense. Why am I pretending again? Stop praising me. I really can't take it. Meanwhile, Yichen was trembling with rage. The trap he had carefully crafted had been hijacked. Tang Yu had swooped in at the last second and stolen the credit. This was supposed to be his moment. He should have been the one standing here, basking in praise, being revered as the #1 feng shui master in Suzhou and Hangzhou. This was supposed to be the start of his legend, his rise to power, his moment of glory. The moment Qin Kexin fell in love with him. Instead, he was nothing but a sideshow, a clown. The few glances he did receive were filled with nothing but disdain. Humiliation boiled in his blood. And the person he hated most right now? Tang Yu. Again, he had stolen Yechen's spotlight. Just as he was about to explode, Qin Kexin moved. She rushed to the Buddha statue on the shrine, grabbed it, and smashed it to the ground. Crack! The sound echoed through the room. Everyone turned to look. From the broken statue, a red light burst out and shot directly toward Yechen. The moment it hit him, his face paled and blood trickled from his nose. Because that jade Buddha had been refined using baby's blood in stillbirths. It was an evil artifact, and Yechen had created it. Now that it was broken, the backlash was hitting him hard. Yechen didn't even flinch. To him, it was just the cost of doing business. He'd grown up practicing these dark arts under his master's guidance. To him, the ends justified the means. After all, a true Dragon King must be ruthless. If he wasn't willing to sacrifice, how could he hope to succeed? But the masters present, they weren't blind. Even if Yechen was stronger than them in raw power, they had sharp eyes, and they'd seen enough. Zhao Shizhu was the first to react. He raised his heavenly master sword and pointed it straight at Yechen. "Shameless scoundrel. So you're the one who created the angry key." Another master shouted, "What a schemer. He played everyone for fools." "It was all a show," another cried. "A rigged performance. What a brazen disgrace." One by one, the feng shui masters denounced him. Qin Kexin's heart pounded. She could feel it in her gut. This confirmed everything. Yechen's expression turned dark and resentful. He was the Dragon King. When had anyone ever dared speak to him like this? That's it. No more games. This dragon is about to burn the stage down. You want me to hold back? Keep pretending? Not today. Tang Yu, watching the scene unfold, immediately sensed something was wrong. He had originally planned to slowly guide the Qin family to the truth, reveal Yechen's scheme piece by piece. But now things were escalating fast. Qin Kexin stepped forward and looked at her father. "Dad, this man's dangerous. We can't let him go." Qin Pengqi's face darkened, his voice cold. "Mr. Ye, care to explain yourself to my Qin family?" His eyes were full of killing intent. They had suffered long enough. Yechen crossed his arms and sneered. Explain what? I've done nothing wrong." "Don't tell me I was supposed to know the Qin family would offer a 1,000,000,000 yuan reward?" "Yeah, right. Like you didn't plan to heroically save Qin Kexin and win her heart. Like you didn't throw the snake into her villa yourself. You dirty bastard. The evidence is everywhere and you're still denying it?" Tang Yu scoffed silently. Qin Kexin's eyes flared with rage. "Cut the act. You orchestrated everything. Even the snake in my villa, that was you. We've already pulled the surveillance footage." Yechen flinched. She knew? Then why didn't she expose him earlier? Qin Ming's voice roared across the room. "No more talk, beat this bastard down." He was furious. That jade Buddha, he had been the one conned into buying it? He thought he had brought home a priceless treasure, only to endanger his entire family. As he shouted, a dozen bodyguards surged forward. Yechen didn't flinch. He was the Dragon King. Better to die standing than run with his tail between his legs. As the first bodyguard charged, Yechen sidestepped and sent the man flying with a brutal kick. Then another, and another. Punches flew. Bodies hit the floor. The trained bodyguards, who could usually fight 10 men at once, looked like toddlers in front of him. Qinming, furious, grabbed a vase and charged. But Yechen moved like lightning. He grabbed Qinming by the neck and lifted him off the ground. Everyone froze. The remaining bodyguards backed off, hesitant. "Let go of my brother," Qin Kexin screamed. "If you hurt him, you'll never leave Suhang alive." Qin Pengqi stepped forward, voice like thunder. "You dare act like this in my house?" Yechen's eyes burned with hatred. Everything was falling apart. And the one he blamed, Tang Yu. He turned his gaze, full of venom, toward Tang Yu. "You think the little Qin family can threaten me? Me, Yi Chen? We could have all left peacefully, but no. Blame this bastard Tang." And in that moment he vowed, today, the Dragon King would not hold back. He was done pretending. Let the chaos begin. Chapter 53. Being stared down by Yechen, Tang Yu forced a thin, angry smile. "You've got to be kidding me. You had the chance, and you didn't take it. Now you want to blame me? I don't want to play the hero. I just want to be a quiet, good-looking man." Yechen's expression darkened. "Surname Tang, you've got two options today," he spat. "Either the kid named Qin dies, or you take his place." That conniving bastard. Yechen was seething. Tang Yu had stolen his moment again, humiliated him, outmaneuvered him, made him look like a fool. He wanted blood. To make his point clear, he squeezed harder. Qinming's face turned red as his air supply was cut off. "Don't do anything rash!" Qin Pengqi's voice cracked with panic. "You let him go, we'll forget today ever happened." Yechen didn't even look at him. "That's not up to you," he said. "It's up to him." He jabbed a finger toward Tang Yu. Qinming, even choking, still waved his hand at Tang Yu, signaling him not to come. He knew full well that Tang Yu's combat skills were basically non-existent. Letting him take his place would be suicide. Yechen had already saved him once. There was no need to do it again. If he had to die today, so be it. Better to be brothers in the next life. "Well," Yechen sneered, "you gonna stand there and watch your brother die in front of all these people?" Tang Yu gritted his teeth. "You let him go," he said. "I'll take his place." Yechen's smirk widened. "About damn time." The Qin family erupted in protest. "No!" Qin Kexin's eyes filled with tears. Her chest tightened with guilt and regret. She had fought with Tang Yu before, even looked down on him. He had spent years fawning over her like a spineless simp. But now this man stood tall, proud, ready to take a beating for her brother. She saw him in a new light, and for the first time her heart raced. What woman wouldn't be moved by a man like that? "You really dare to take his place?" Yechen asked, narrowing his eyes. "I do," Tang Yu said flatly. Yechen loosened his grip slightly, letting Qinming gasp for air. He hadn't truly planned to kill the guy. This was all about humiliating Tang Yu getting revenge. But now that Tang Yu agreed, he wasn't going to go easy on him. "Let him go," Tang Yu said. "We'll settle this outside. One punch each. Winner takes all." He pointed to the open courtyard beyond the hall. Yechen snorted. "Fine by me." With that, he released Qinming, who was caught by a few rushing bodyguards. Tang Yu and Yechen walked toward the courtyard. The crowd followed. The feng shui masters murmured among themselves, their eyes filled with admiration. "Now, what a noble man. He's not just strong, he's honorable. A true master." Even Qin Pengqi looked rattled. His son was safe, but now his nephew was about to go toe-to-toe with a monster. He had seen Yechen fight. He could knock down bodyguards like bowling pins. "Trust him," Kexin said, biting her lip. "He knows what he's doing." She didn't know if that was true, but right now it was all they had. Once they reached the courtyard, Tang Yu turned to Yechen. "You can start," he said. Yechen raised an eyebrow. "What's this, afraid to throw the first punch?" Tang Yu shrugged. "I don't want to dirty my fist." The truth was, he couldn't strike first. His system hadn't given him any offensive martial arts. All he had were two defensive techniques. Fudo Myoo Art absorbs one full power attack. Yin-Yang Wuji Gong reflects absorbed power back at double the strength. They could only be used once, but both were at mastery level. Perfect. "You arrogant bastard," Yechen growled. He couldn't stand being looked down on. He was the Dragon King. In the Middle East or Africa, men feared him, worshipped him. Now this punk wanted to act superior? Yechen shouted and lunged. In an instant, he closed the distance and drove a punch straight into Tang Yu's chest. But the moment it landed, it was like hitting air. No cotton, Tang Yu didn't move. The Fudomayo art had absorbed the blow completely. At the same time, Yin-Yang Wujigong surged within Tang Yu, charging his fist with doubled force. Before Ye Chen could even react, Tang Yu's fist exploded forward and landed. Hard. Ye Chen's body launched backwards like a rocket, flying several meters through the air. He slammed into a courtyard statue and ox with a shepherd boy on its back. His fall landed squarely on the bull's horn, right into his ass. A piercing cry escaped his throat as the horn stabbed deep. Blood stained the marble. If not for his training, he would have passed out from the pain. Instead, he coughed violently and spit a mouthful of blood. The entire courtyard was silent. Everyone stared. The man who had taken out more than 10 elite bodyguards had just been blown away with one punch by Tang Yu, by Tang Shao. The difference in their strength was like heaven and earth, and in that moment, everyone knew it. Tang Yu wasn't just a master. He was a legend in the making. Chapter 54, Zhao Gaoshan was dumbfounded. Holy crap, Tang Shao had been hiding this deeply? Damn, big bro. You're seriously next level, Qinming wheezed from the ground, clutching his throat. He was still coughing, eyes wide with disbelief. That one punch made Ye Chen vomit blood on the spot. And, well, let's just say his chrysanthemum didn't fare any better. At that moment, everyone present had only 4 words in their minds. Tang Shao is awesome. Tang Yu stood frozen, staring at his own fist, then at Ye Chen's bleeding rear end. He was a little panicked. Crap, did I just wreck the Dragon King's ass? Thankfully, it looked like the Dragon King had done his business earlier. Otherwise, this punch might have been way messier. From a distance, Ye Chen staggered off the statue, walking like something was seriously wrong. Every step sent a jolt of agony through his lower half. He gritted his teeth and glared at Tang Yu. His face was pale, full of rage, and something else fear. Even though that punch looked slow and lazy, the damage it did was terrifying. If not for Ye Chen's ridiculously strong physique, it might have killed him. Now he had internal injuries, external injuries, and a busted-up pride. Then Qin Kexen's voice rang out. Don't let him leave. Whoever breaks his arm gets 10 million. If you kill him, 100 million. The Qin family bodyguards, who'd been itching for payback, immediately rushed forward. Ye Chen's face darkened. He didn't dare stay. Not after that punch from Tang Yu. Not after what was clearly a bounty on his head. Real men know when to retreat, he growled to himself. He turned and ran limping like crazy and vaulted the wall of the Qin estate. But the moment he landed on the other side, he was screwed. Outside were over a dozen black cars, and standing in front of them, Wang Yixui. Cold as ice, she glared at Ye Chen. Behind her were over 30 black-suited bodyguards. She'd come for revenge, and now the Dragon King had nowhere to run. Kill that bastard, she said coldly. The Wang family's men rushed forward. Ye Chen's face twisted with rage. He was Ye Chen, the Dragon King. He was the one who beat people while they were down. When did the tables turn? Still, he had no choice. Despite his injuries, he fought back. He took down a dozen bodyguards, but the pain was too much. Every movement was a reminder of his destroyed backside. It felt like he was carrying a 5-pound hemorrhoid. Eventually, he collapsed, beaten to the ground by sheer numbers. Tang Yu and the others had just arrived in time to see it. Tang Yu froze. This has nothing to do with me. I just punched him once. This beatdown? Not on me. Still, seeing how brutal the beating was, Tang Yu got a bit worried. If they kill the Dragon King, what happens to the plot? Qin Kexen was ready to finish the job. Finish him, she yelled. But Ye Chen, barely alive, managed to pull a tiny bottle from his pocket. With a final burst of energy, he smashed it on the ground. A red mist exploded into the air. The bodyguards instantly began itching like crazy, scratching themselves uncontrollably. In the chaos, Ye Chen staggered to his feet and limped toward a car. I'm not dying here, he told himself. Just as he reached the car, a bodyguard grabbed his pants leg. Don't let him run, the man shouted. 20 million if we take him down. More bodyguards dragged themselves up, ignoring the itch, chasing after Ye Chen like zombies. Seeing them still moving through the poison cloud, Ye Chen panicked. Why won't these guys go down? With no options left, he used his final move. Cicada Shell Escape. His last reserve of inner energy flared. His pants exploded. He dashed off bare-assed, bloodied and battered, leaving behind a trail of disbelief and horror. Oh God, someone gagged. My eyes! There he was, Ye Chen, butt-naked, blood-streaked, running like a wild monkey. Into a Mercedes he dove. Lock the cars, someone shouted. Dozens of key fobs clicked at once. The doors locked. Ye Chen yanked. Nothing. Cursing, he bolted for the road. There, a cab waited. He dove into the passenger seat and barked. Drive! The driver blinked. Who the hell are you? Why aren't you wearing pants? Just drive, Ye Chen snapped. Yeah, how are you paying? Ye Chen's punch knocked the driver out cold. He shoved him out, took the wheel, and floored it. The Dragon King, half-naked, covered in bruises, was back on the run. The bodyguards arrived just as he peeled off. They watched the cab vanish into the distance. Damn it, one of them muttered. There goes the bonus. Wang Yishui and Qin Kexin showed up seconds later. He got away? Kexin growled. Tang Yu, still calm, just sighed. This is why you don't mess with protagonists with plot armor. Even when they're pantsless and bleeding, somehow they still escape. Chapter 55. The feng shui masters all sighed in frustration as Ye Chen escaped. What a damn disgrace. Letting someone like him get away? Zhao Shizhu from Dragon Tiger Mountain stepped forward, face still pale from the energy backlash. His tone was solemn. Everyone from this day on, anyone in the Zhuanmen who sides with Ye Chen is an enemy of Dragon Tiger Mountain. Agreed. That thief's behavior today disgraces the entire tradition of Xuanmen. If I catch him up north, I swear he won't be leaving in one piece. Each master chimed in. In their world, rules mattered, and Ye Chen had broken all of them. Once everyone had agreed on a unified front, Zhao Shizhu turned to Tang Yu and gave a respectful bow. Tang Xiao, I'll never forget your kindness today. If Dragon Tiger Mountain can ever be of service, you need only ask. Same goes for me, added Master Song. Another elderly master chimed in, stroking his beard with reverence. Tang Xiao, your bearing, your humility. I'd say you're the #1 feng shui master in Suzhou and Hangzhou. #1 in Huaxia, even, another cackled. A wave of exaggerated praise rolled through the courtyard. Tang Yu barely managed to smile. Internally, he wanted to crawl into the ground. Please, stop. I'm begging you. I just punched a guy in the butt, not saved the country. If I hear one more compliment, I'm going to start carving the Forbidden City with my toes. Tang Yu muttered inwardly. Trying to keep it together, he waved a hand with a sheepish grin. Seniors, I really just did a small thing. Let's all go get some rest. Amazing. Modest, too. Truly a dragon among men. His parents really did a great job. With more gushing, the masters finally dispersed. As soon as the crowd cleared, Qin Kexin walked up, concern written all over her face. You okay? Her voice was soft, her eyes searching his. For the first time in years, there was no disdain in her gaze. I'm fine, Tang Yu said coolly. Wait, why is she being nice? Isn't she supposed to hate me? Qin Kexin smiled gently. Thank you for what you did. Their history wasn't great. Tang Yu and Qin Kexin had known each other for years, but there had always been tension, mostly because of that incident. Years ago, when they were just teenagers, Tang Yu had visited the Qin home to see Qin Ming. He'd accidentally opened the wrong door, Qin Kexin's room. She had a habit of sleeping naked. He had walked in, she had freaked out, and in her rage, she hadn't even bothered putting on clothes before storming over and slapping him across the face. Since then, their relationship had been somewhere between cold and hostile. To be fair, I was tricked into going to her room. Damn Qin Ming, trying to set me up as his brother-in-law. And that slap? Uncalled for. I was the victim. Qin Kexin, hearing all this through Tang Yu's inner monologue, shot a glare at her brother. Oh, she remembered now. So he had set her up? That idiot had always been pushing her to date Tang Yu. But to trick them into a frank meeting like that? Qin Ming, meanwhile, was sipping water peacefully, completely unaware that he was about to get murdered. From behind, another piercing stare joined the party Wang Yishui. She too had heard Tang Yu's thoughts, and now she was glaring daggers at Qin Ming. You little punk. Trying to help your sister steal my man? Unforgivable. Suddenly, Qin Ming shivered. He looked up and saw both women staring at him. What? What did I do this time? He rushed over to Tang Yu, patting his chest like a concerned puppy. Big bro, are you sure you're okay? That punch looked brutal. Tang Yu nodded. I'm fine, thanks to that busted system of mine. At least the skills work. You're amazing, Qin Ming said, stars in his eyes. You've been hiding this whole time. Total dark horse. Get lost, Wang Yishui cut in, physically shoving Qin Ming aside. She turned to Tang Yu, eyes narrowing. Did Ye Chen actually land a punch on you? Yeah, but it wasn't a big deal. Then why'd you let him? She frowned. Tang Yu glanced at the group of bodyguards nearby. What are you even doing here with all these people? Wang Yishui filled him in. How Ye Chen had betrayed the Wang family. How they'd come looking for revenge. Tang Yu sighed. Ye Chen really stepped in at this time. Offended 3 out of 4 major families? That's impressive. Wang Yishui suddenly grabbed his arm. Come on, we're checking you for injuries. Qin Kexin nodded. Right, you could have internal damage. I said I'm fine. Tang Yu started backing up. What is happening? Are they really about to give me a personal exam? Go home and rest? Qin Kexin arched an eyebrow. What if something's wrong and you just collapse? Let a doctor do it. My doctor resigned, she said sweetly. Tang Yu's eyes narrowed. Wait a second, is this a real checkup or checkup? Come on, elbow him inside, Wang Yichui said, waving her phone. We'll be quick. Qinming piped up like a moron. Yeah, go with them, bro. They'll take real good care of you. Tang Yu sighed, resigned to his fate. This is not how I imagined my day ending.